Hey guys, Kim and Jackson here, and Annabelle is somewhere. I think she's actually watching her iPad in her bed right now, so she might join us later, I'm not sure. But I am gonna do a Q&A. I posted on Instagram and Snapchat and actually got a lot of questions. I'm just going to do the pregnancy and like postpartum questions this time because I don't want it to be too long, but I'm just going to get right into it. So if you're not interested in pregnancy and the postpartum stuff, then maybe just don't watch this video. But for those of you that are interested, here we go. So first question, would you like to have any more kids, or are you and Jim happy with 2? We are absolutely happy with 2. We got 1 of each, so really don't need any more. But no, we've always just said we wanted 2 kids. At first we were kind of set on just having Annabelle, just having 1 kid. We did go through a lot of infertility, IVF, that sort of thing. So if by some miracle I got pregnant on my own, that would be cool, but we are not going to try for a 3rd. We are very happy with 2, and we got 2 pretty good ones, so no complaints. Let's see. Is Jackson a pretty mellow baby? Yes, he is very mellow. The only time he really gets worked up is if he's hungry or trying to poop or gets gassy. That's really the only time he cries. I think there's one more here from YouTube. Okay, I'd be curious to hear why you chose not to breastfeed given all the benefits known to baby and mom. So I get this question a lot, and I don't want to say it makes me mad. It doesn't make me mad, but I don't know, I get this question a lot, and I understand why, but I have quite a few reasons why I chose not to breastfeed. I didn't breastfeed with Annabelle either. The main reason is just that I didn't want to. I didn't find any appeal to it. I know people say it's convenient, but I kind of think it's more inconvenient to like whip out your boob all the time. For those parents that do breastfeed, I think it's wonderful. I think it's a very, very, very personal choice. And I don't like how some people, even some hospitals, try to push breastfeeding on people. Luckily, our hospital did not. They were very open to whatever I wanted to do. And there's other reasons too that I'm not going to really go into. But the main reason is I just didn't want to. And I don't think it harms Jackson or Annabelle in any way. I think we still bond very much so. When I'm feeding him a bottle, I get real close to his little face and rub his little cheek, and I don't see anything wrong with bottle feeding. I think they get all the nutrition they need, and like I said, it was just I didn't have the desire to, and this way Jim can't get out of feedings, so he can do the bottles. But that is that. Like I said, I think it's a very personal choice. And I think it's fine to ask people that, but not to try to push breastfeeding on someone that's not interested in it. So those were the questions from YouTube. Let us go to the Instagram questions. Let us see. I like this question. How did you figure out what works best for you and not buy into all the crap you see? You have such a laid-back attitude. Splenda, donuts, and let Annabelle eat fun foods. I think it's great. Also feel like that's shunned today, so many parenting and pregnancy police. Does that make sense? Yes. So there is all this information out there of what you should and shouldn't do, and it's hard to decide what is best for you, but I think that is exactly what you need to do. You need to figure out what's best for you, or what you have done before pregnancy. Really, the only thing I changed was my exercise a little bit once I started getting more pregnant, and drinking alcohol. I was already drinking caffeine-free stuff and decaf coffee, which you are allowed to have caffeine, but I just chose not to. And as far as, the donuts and the Splenda, and I had a lot of people saying that I wasn't eating good enough, but that's all stuff that I talked to my doctor about, that everything was fine. Obviously, Annabelle turned out pretty fine. He looks okay to me. So it is hard to not buy into all of that, but I think you really just need to ignore it and figure out what works for you, because, you know, maybe someone wants to be vegan, vegetarian, still eat meat, exercise, not exercise, give up all artificial everything. It's just, there's so many different things that you could do, and it's just, you just have to find what works for you and just ignore the rest of it. So maybe I wasn't perfect during my pregnancy. I'm definitely not perfect now, but I think we all did okay. So I just say ignore what else is out there, do what works for you and your family, and that's the end of it. Here's another one kind of similar, asking about the pressures of new moms, bottle feeding versus breastfeeding, natural birth, cesarean, any of that stuff. And it goes along with the same kind of thing. You have to find what works for you. You know, some people like to have natural birth. I was not all about that. I wanted an epidural as soon as possible. And we talked about bottle feeding, breastfeeding. It's just finding what works for you. And everyone is so different. Babies are different. Mothers are different. Pregnancies and postpartum symptoms are different. So just find what works for you. Talk to your doctor about it if you're unsure, but that's all I can say about that. Next, how did being pregnant affect your body image? Did you do anything mentally to prepare? So first of all, I really didn't gain much weight with both pregnancies, so my body didn't change that much as far as weight. I did kind of mentally prepare myself, but I actually wanted to gain more weight. I thought, you know, this is the time to gain some weight and see how I look, see how I feel, and I just wasn't really able to, but it didn't really affect me mentally. I liked gaining the weight that I did, and I wanted to gain more. I just had some acid reflux and digestion issues and whatnot, but yeah, I did prepare myself mentally for it, but then as I did start to gain weight, I wanted to embrace it, and I knew that I was growing a human, and you know, I had to do everything I could to be healthy, and weight gain is part of that. So if you are struggling with an eating disorder and you're pregnant, I mean, just think about what you're doing. You know, you are growing a human, and this is a time to embrace that and embrace your body and the weight gain, and just go with it. Okay. How much from a scale of 1 to 10 does labor hurt? And what happens to the cervix after labor? Does it expand a lot? So labor pains, first of all, I had like none, like maybe level 1. I had an epidural, which I would recommend to anyone. I think it's wonderful. But I also had a pretty quick and easy childbirth with both Annabelle and Jackson. I credit that somewhat to me staying active during my pregnancy and being in pretty good physical shape. It helped a little bit that they were both kind of on the small side, and the epidural helped, but I don't think it's like the pain that you see in the movies. Now, if you don't have an epidural, it's gonna hurt, but I didn't have much pain. I had a lot more pain postpartum with, you know, the healing down there and my boobs getting swollen and hard and that kind of thing, but the labor, it really wasn't bad. It was the recovery that was a little bit rough. And with the cervix, funny story, I actually had what's called, I believe, prolapse. I think that's the word. But basically, my uterus and cervix got so low that they were almost coming out. You can Google it if you want to look more into it, but it's something that does happen, and then it does go back. It goes back up, it goes back to normal. Your uterus shrinks down, it actually contracts and shrinks back down. And that can kind of hurt. That can be some cramping and almost contraction pains, and that doesn't feel good. And that's why most women will still look very pregnant after they have a baby, because your uterus is still, you know, the size of a cantaloupe or whatever. And then it contracts back down, and then everything just goes back to normal eventually. But because he was so low for so long, my cervix and uterus dropped down very, very, very low, to the point that it was kind of scary, but everything is going back to normal now. So we are all good with that. So let us see. I think I have a couple more questions from Snapchat. And if I missed your question, I'm sorry. Sometimes putting it on Snapchat, it would open and then I wouldn't see it. Okay, what is your favorite part about being a mom? What is Jim's favorite part about being a dad? And if you have time, would you consider what is the hardest part about being a mom and dad? So my favorite part is just seeing them grow. Like, it is just so amazing to me that, you know, both Annabelle and Jackson started out as this teeny tiny little embryo, and then it grows into a human, and then you birth that human, and then it grows into a person. Like, Annabelle is now a 2-year-old walking, talking little girl with a personality, and it's just so amazing how they develop and learn and grow, and it's the coolest thing to watch. Every day they're doing something different, you know, even just when he opens his eyes or he's moving his arms more, you know, doing tummy time and almost rolling over. It's just so cool. Jim's favorite part about being a dad, he's not here to ask him, I should have asked him before, but I think he'd say probably the same thing, you know, just seeing a child that you created grow into a person, a human, you know, their own individual, unique personalities develop, and it's just really cool. Hardest part? I'd say, I mean, your life does change a lot, but definitely not in a bad way. I would say the hardest thing right now, especially having 2, is just getting out of the house. Like, with Annabelle it was getting easy enough, but now with 2, it's like, okay, we need the diaper bag, we need bottles and a juice cup, 2 sizes of diapers, plenty of wipes, extra set of clothes, because sometimes he spits up a little bit, you know, a burp cloth, a blanket, little saw. You need all this stuff. Snacks for Annabelle, snacks for yourself, a drink for yourself, your car keys, hats, gloves, coats. It's just like so much stuff to get out of the house. Actually, last night Jim and I were going out for a drink, or debating about going out for a drink, and we're like, do we really want to do the whole packing up of the kids to go for a drink? And we did, and I'm glad we did. But that's the hardest thing, just getting out of the house. You know, there's no more quick trips to the grocery store. That doesn't exist anymore. But it's not that difficult. Okay, I like this one. I know you say you're a snacker and don't really eat meals, but will you ever sit down as a family and eat dinner together? And yes, I think we will. Right now we don't really, not even just because of my snacking or how I eat, but just because of our schedules. Jim a lot of times isn't home for dinner. He'll come home real quick, have to grab something to eat and leave again. Jackson's just having bottles. Annabelle eats literally 4 things, and I am a snacker. You know, I prefer just little snacks here and there, but we have talked about it, and once they're both at an age where they're eating real normal food, we will at least, you know, whether it's once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, sit down and have family dinners. But we're a very casual eating kind of family. Jim and I both are. We eat on the couch a lot. I know that's not what everybody likes. It's not very traditional, I guess, but it's what works for us. It's kind of what we enjoy, and we'll probably still do some of that, you know, have pizza night where we watch a movie, and then have a couple sit-down dinners where we, you know, make a meal, sit down, talk, that kind of thing, you know, the normal family thing. But for now, it's just, this is what works for us. Okay, so here's a couple questions. Hardest part about being a mother of 2. We kind of talked about that. That would be just getting out of the house in under a half hour. Anything else? I guess I'd say maybe like bedtime routine can sometimes be a little bit hectic when they both need a bath and a bottle and a nighttime snack, and getting them both to sleep can be a little bit hard, but it's not that bad. You work out a routine. Biggest misconception of a mother of 2, I would say that people say you're never going to sleep again, because you are going to sleep, because your kids are going to sleep. Jackson sleeps. Now, he does wake up a couple times a night. You know, you have to give him his binky, put his music on. He does like 1 to 2 feedings in the middle of the night, but once he can take a bigger bottle, he will sleep through the night. Annabelle sleeps like 10 to 12 hours straight through. She is an amazing sleeper. But when people say you're never going to sleep again, that's not true. You will sleep plenty, trust me. Unless you have a kid that doesn't like to sleep at all, then sorry. Differences between Jackson and Annabelle. They're actually very similar as far as this baby age goes anyhow. Speaking of Annabelle, she's over here dancing now. Hi. They're both very good sleepers. I would say if anything, Jackson is a little bit better of an eater as far as taking the bottle. Come over here, honey. Come here. You come say hi?
Here.
Come over here. Come here. You want to come up here too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Come on up. You want to help me out a little bit? All right, we're gonna finish the Q&A with both kiddos. All right, you good?
Okay.
You good? Okay. Aw, he's good, huh? So, what was I saying? Oh, differences between them. I would just say he's a little bit better eater. She was so little, she was only 5 pounds, and we had to like wake her and like almost force feed her to try to get like an ounce in here and there. And he takes the food really, really well. So that's really the only thing. Other than that, so far, they have been very similar babies, but I'm sure there will be plenty of differences as he grows up. And let us see, was there any more? You've mentioned that you're trying to gain weight. How do you measure whether you're at a healthy state? And okay, so I am trying to gain weight. I don't weigh myself very often. I do a couple times a week just to see that I am going in the right direction. And I don't really have a specific weight that I'm trying to hit. I definitely need to gain a decent amount.
No, Mom.
No, Mom. No, Annabelle.
Here.
Yeah. But I'm getting so distracted. So there's not a specific number I want to hit. I think I'll just know when my body feels better. Like right now, I don't love the way that I look and feel. And so I think I'll know when I'm there. I'm not saying that I'm going to get to a certain number because I don't like to focus on the number, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think I'll just know when I feel better, and and that will be that. You think we're done with the Q&A now, Annabelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to turn around and say bye? Let's make sure we don't have any more questions on here. And once again, I apologize if I missed any of your questions. If I opened them, come here, honey. Come here, honey. If I opened them on Snapchat and forgot to screenshot them or something. But if you have any other questions that come here, honey. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer, just leave them down below and I will answer them down there. So, you want to say thanks for watching?
Bye.
Bye. Give it a thumbs up. Leave us any other questions down below. And we'll see you next time. Bye.